I'm going to talk a little bit about activism, guys.
I'm jammed here.
You know what?
I'm jammed here.
AT&T, not a story, but there are a couple of activist situations we've been following out there that are worth updating. Let's start with Marathon Petroleum.
MPC?
Yes, MPC. Remember, Elliott, of course, put a letter out on September 25th saying, hey, we'd like you guys, we've worked with you previously, and we really would like you to unlock the value currently trapped in your conglomerate structure. We'd like you to get the retail company to become standalone, that's Speedway, the gas stations. Midstream, we'd like to be standalone. Right. And the refining company would like to become New Marathon. Elliott's been putting the pressure on. D.E. Shaw has also been there. A number of other large shareholders. In fact, there were meetings. Others have reported on this, too, over the last couple of days. Three of the independent directors, the three big independents, Jim Rohr, Mike Stice, and Evan Bayh. Remember Evan Bayh, former senator?
Those guys are all heavy. You know, Stice is the real hitter there.
Yeah. And what I can tell you is this, and again, in speaking to people around this situation, there are a lot of possibilities that Marathon will consider, but you're seeing them right there in terms of what at least seems more likely in the view of many people who've been involved in these conversations. Namely, from what I believe to be the case, on the 31st, which is when they're reporting earnings, there may well be additional announcements along with that. What will it be? It could well be that we will immediately separate Speedway. It could be that they're going to say we're going to conduct a review of the midstream operations. You could even get more. You could even get more of a plan on midstream. And then, Jim, is the question of Mr. Hemminger's future. Gary Heminger, longtime CEO there, of course, chairman and CEO of the company. Will there be an orderly transition of some kind that will take place in the near term? That is another key question here. But there have been a lot of conversation around this. Those independent directors, largely in listening mode, but at least from what I'm hearing, based on them and other people, there is going to be real movement when it comes to Gary's not an old.
Gary's young.
No, he's young. I hear he may want to run for governor of Ohio. I don't know. Would you know?
Are you just idly speculating? Because I thought he was going to run for CEO of Marathon.
I usually leave the idle speculation to you, but I figured I'd just throw that in there.
Dave, that's great reporting.
Thank you. Let's move on to Emerson. It's a story I did earlier this week. On Tuesday, of course, outlining D.E. Shaw's various objections to current management and their plan, whether it's the way that they're compensated, whether it's their cost structure, whether it is, well, a cost structure that they believe could be diminished to a large extent, whether it is a board that is staggered currently. A lot of different things came up, of course, in the D.E. Shaw report. There's engagement here. There always is some engagement. That's why that AT&T story in the Journal is sort of odd. Right. You're always talking. You're trying to talk. If you're not talking at all, there's a problem, or you're going to a proxy fight. That's not the case here. November 6th, though, is when the window closes. There is a back and forth going on between the company and D.E. Shaw. The question is, do they want to fight? Do they feel like they have enough support of their shareholders to say, hey, you know what, we do not need to follow what you're saying and or even give you any board seats? What's D.E. Shaw's ask? That remains somewhat unclear. They did have, I've heard, as many as 4 candidates. There are 4 candidates coming up in the current term, but certainly would be happy to settle for less than that, one would expect. And you have to decide here, if you are Emerson and your advisors, are you willing to say, all right, maybe we'll give you a board seat, or maybe even 2, or do you want to fight and put it to your shareholders? Jim, I know you've had Mr. Farr on a number of times, most recently. I think the airplanes opened some people's eyes.
Oh, the airplanes. How about this?
$25 million, the internship program, 40 people in the aviation department.
Suboptimal. But David, he came on Mad Money and he said, listen, I'm willing to split the company in half, but he said, maybe not now, wait till this new CEO. People were unhappy about that.
But he hasn't given a specific date for stepping down either.
No.
He's just said broadly 2021, correct?
Yeah. In other words, this is like marathons to someone. Wow. I don't know. He's a long-term.
Elliott is, first of all, a larger shareholder. It seems that they have a lot more company there, and they've got independent directors who are eagerly listening. I'm not sure you can say quite the same.
Well, look, I think it's unfair. That was an unfair comparison. And remember, Emerson's up 14%. Yeah. It yields almost 3%. It's got, by the way, a great reverse head and shoulders pattern. I know you follow this.
It does, but the TSRs over the last 10 years, 5 years, they use 3 years because that's the best comparison for them. The stock has benefited from the move up when D.E. Shaw actually got involved and was started to be reported. But overall, when you look at the metrics, Jim, they're not particularly impressive.
Well, it's spent a fortune on China, which obviously is not considered to be a place you want to be right now. But okay, I'll give you that. I mean, I'm looking at the long term under Mr. Knight. Look,
Right, Carl was talking about it, right, before Mr. Farr, you mean?
Yes.
Right, but Farr's been CEO for 18 years.
Yeah.
19 years.
I did a journal piece about them for Page One when it was Chuck Knight, I think.
Yes.
The old CEO.
Yeah. Well, I remain
go back for 30 years. What are you doing here?
I remain a believer in Mr. Farr. I think that there's always companies that can do better. I mean, Darius Adamczyk at Honeywell, what he's done is rather remarkable. But look at 3M. I mean, I don't hear you talking about 3M at all.
No.
But did you notice that stuff?
Talk about it. Yeah.
You notice that stuff?
Finally, guys, we mentioned this on AT&T earlier, the Journal reporting about these talks. Yes, they're talking. They've been talking. That's what you do. If you're an activist and a management team, we'll see. Can they get something done prior to this important meeting on the 29th of October? That's really where investors are focused right now. Certainly the Elliott proposals and the conversations there are of importance. It's not a story. I'll end it there.